service. If I like, I order twice. Hibachi, got the gravy on the rice. Rolling in Mexico like a
Pittsburgh Steelers fans, welcome back to another edition of the Steelers Q&A. My name is Jeremy Betts, here with you on a Saturday night. I told you things would be changing up around here for the schedule for the Q&A because of the regular season starting tomorrow for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Sunday, September 7th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time from the Meadowlands. The Pittsburgh Steelers will be taking on the New York Jets in a rematch from last season and a swapperoo of quarterbacks going down in this matchup. Aaron Rodgers, now a member of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Justin Fields, who actually did not play in the game last year against the Jets, but was on the Steelers roster, is now the Jets starting quarterback. Storylines galore in this one. We will get to all of it and more here on this show. A little bit later, I will be joined by Corey Eckenroth as long as he can get away and get logged in. So stay tuned for Corey a little bit later. But for now, it's just me, and we're going to talk a little bit about something that went down right before this show. Just about an hour ago, Cam Hayward and the Pittsburgh Steelers strike a deal that will give him some incentives in 2025 and allow him to suit up in week one for the Steelers. It's been a long time coming. We've been tracking it. It has gotten the ire of Steelers Nation from multiple different facets, whether that's Cam Hayward signed a contract just last year, so he should honor that and not be asking for more money at this time, or whether it's the fact that some of us think that he actually deserves that money and played like a guy who deserves to be paid more than he is going to get paid this year. Cam Hayward, I don't necessarily think that it was maybe the right move for him to be threatening a holdout, because I think the Steelers would have gotten it done with him either way because of who he is, the player that he is, the personality, what he means to this team. The Pittsburgh Steelers would have gotten something done with their boy Cam Hayward. So the method, questionable. The situation, preventable, maybe. I think we could consider it preventable if you talk about Cam Hayward and his agent actually putting their foot down maybe last year and saying, no, this is not the deal that we want. It's not going to be a deal that we're going to look back on and say, yeah, this is a good deal after I have an all-pro year this year. I always thought it was kind of funny that Cam would say, well, I told him at the signing table that after I have an all-pro year this next year, I'll be back. And they all kind of laughed. Well, yeah, they laughed. Yeah, they laughed because it wasn't in the contract. So Cam gets his dough, though, in form of incentives. And I think that it's good for the Steelers. It's good for Cam Hayward to go into this thing with zero distractions. I did find it interesting that some of the incentives were for performance in the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to get to the playoffs, and they need to win in the playoffs. And the fact that Cam Hayward agrees to that is a good sign for the relationship and for what the Steelers hope to accomplish this season. I apologize. I just now got the chat up. It was not loading for me originally. So going back through, trying to see what has been commented so far. I see a couple comments. From Brian, he said, why did the Steelers make Cam Hayward sweat it this long? You know, they've been doing that under Omar Khan. It's kind of like last minute type stuff. It starts with the TJ Watt deal from a few years ago, right? And that wasn't Omar Khan, but that philosophy of kind of just waiting till last minute, that's been a part of the Steelers dynamic when it comes to contract situations with their players now, as precedent for some of their higher paid stars that are signing extensions. So when I look at this situation in whole and I take my like a full 360 degree view or whatever you want to say of this, I think it's just good to get this out of the news cycle for Steelers fans, for Cam, for the Steelers themselves, as they go into this matchup against the Jets, which I think with Cam Hayward on the field is one that they have every advantage on defense against an offensive line without Elijah Vera Tucker, their best offensive lineman, that will struggle to protect Fields, to open up running lanes against this defense that should be absolutely electric from front to back, starting though up front with those guys on the interior and the edge rushers. It's going to be hard. It was going to be hard anyway for the Jets to hold up against this Pittsburgh Steelers team. It's going to be even harder now. So very excited to see this Steelers team with zero distractions now as we get rolling to the first game of the season. Appreciate everybody who's in the chat. Please do throw in your questions. If you have already asked a question and I haven't seen it yet, please go ahead and ask it again. It's not letting me preload messages from when I just hopped in here, so I apologize. I'm getting everything live now, back to about 9:16 or so. Let's see. Nope, 9:19 is the last messages I'm getting here. So if you guys will please put in your questions again. If I missed it, I apologize about that. But definitely thank you to all of you who are in here. I see so many names that are regulars on this show and this program. Don't forget that the Steelers Q&A is brought to you by the Steel Curtain Network and Fans First Sports. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please follow us wherever you can. We have another endeavor going on as well that I am a part of that I don't know how many of you guys would know about directly from this show. So I wanted to share it with you. Pro Football Insiders. ProFootballInsiders.com. If you go to ProFootballInsiders.com, we've got articles and podcasts from all of our different feeds for all the different teams. Now, I know most of you are probably Steelers fans in this show, but if you go over to ProFootballInsiders.com and you check that out, you'll see articles from me. You'll see articles from all your favorites, Jeff Hartman, Kevin Smith. I mean, everybody there. Plus, you'll get all the information from things going on around the league from guys within FFSN and the Steel Curtain Network, obviously, as well. So please check that out. Follow us on X, pro_FB_insiders, and give us a follow there as well so that you can tag along with things that are going on. I'm helping run the social media, so you'll see a lot of my thoughts and takes on there, as well as some just generic stuff. So interact with that and let's have fun with that. Let's keep rolling with this show. And I will bring up this comment here from Andre. Maybe I will show on stream. Okay. Andre Green, all caps. Nothing like waiting until the very last minute, right, Mr. Betts? Absolutely. Why give us peace of mind before the start of the season? Why not drag it out and just let us deal with the ebbs and flows of emotion throughout all this? I think that the Steelers, maybe a little Jerry Jones going on in the Steelers, where they want to keep that drama. They want to keep those headlines going because it gets conversation going about the Steelers. We talk about it here, right, on the Steelers Q&A and here on Steel Curtain Network. You guys talk about it. We talk about it. That's what we're here for. What are your questions? Let's talk about this. Andre's bringing one up. Would Cam have sat out tomorrow if they would not have reached this deal? It sounded like it. I'm not going to project too hard on this because the deal is signed now, but it sure sounded like it. It sounded like he was very, very strongly considering not suiting up. And we dodged a bullet. Ladies and gentlemen, we dodged a bullet in that regard. So I don't want to speculate for him, right? I still think he's a really good guy. I still think that he is a top-notch person. I can't sit here at this little desk that I'm at and say I understand a guy who's made $130 million in his career or whatever the number is, not having enough money. I mean, let's just be honest here. I can't sit here and understand that. But when you're talking about a business like the NFL that regularly takes advantage of their clauses and contract powers, whatever it be, over the players, go get yours, Cam. I don't care. It's not my money, right? It's his money. He knows his financial situation. He knows his family. He knows his game situation, how much longer he wants to play. I'm not going to speak for the man at all. I'm just going to say, from my perspective, it felt a little uncam-like, this whole thing. So very glad that it's over with. Glad we don't have to talk about it anymore for the foreseeable future. Ready to move on from it myself. All right. Let's see here. Afton says it's probably different when you're staring down your last contract too. That makes sense because everything kind of comes to a head for these guys when they're at this portion of their career, right? Where you're talking about Cam Hayward and even Aaron Rodgers. We talked about how different guys view those different things. Aaron Rodgers, he just kind of wanted a good spot to play. He felt like he's made enough money throughout his career. He was just wanting kind of a reset after the whole Jets fiasco. And the Steelers give that to him. He didn't care about the money. Cam Hayward didn't make as much money as the big-time quarterbacks, right? That just doesn't happen for these guys. So he gets his bag a little bit here at the back end of his career, a little bit of incentive for good play again for the team success. That's a good look for Cam, right? That this is incentivized bonuses, whatever, to this contract, because if this was just like straight money, you could say, okay, Cam's just getting straight money. But the fact that it's team incentive here, that makes me like feel on the surface, right, that he still cares about this team. He's still team first. I wrote an article about the stock report for the Pittsburgh Steelers going into this game, just kind of feeling whose stock is rising, whose is falling. And I felt like Cam Hayward's reputation was about to take a pitfall if he sat out this game. Glad it's not going to happen. Let's move on from that conversation. All right. Reginald Rivers. Reggie, how's it going? I hope it's okay for me to call you Reggie. I apologize if not. Hey, Jeremy, who scores the first touchdown tomorrow for the Pittsburgh Steelers? The first touchdown. That's a tough one. I'm going to go ahead and sit here and say, I'm going to go bold because this was my bet this weekend. Darnell Washington. Darnell Washington gets that first touchdown grab. He has been highly touted now by Aaron Rodgers, by Mike Tomlin, by Arthur Smith in interviews. I think this guy is going to be a major part of what they do in the red zone. And with kind of considering where I think the Steelers are kind of going to be more like a march down the field type offense this year, not necessarily a full-on explosive big play team. Now they'll have a little bit more of that potential maybe with DK Metcalf, and Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren, but I still think they're going to kind of be a plodding offense, a matriculate the ball down the field offense. And I think when they get into the red zone though, that's where this tight end group can shine. It's where DK Metcalf can shine. So I saw somebody put in here. Andre says DK Metcalf scores the first touchdown Sunday. That's a very fine pick. He was literally the first and second option in 7 shots all summer long. So yeah, very well could be. And then Reginald says, sure, Jeremy, you can call me Reggie, I guess. Reggie. Glad to meet you, Reggie. Glad to meet you on this more personal level here. Felicia says DK and Jaylen Warren for the first touchdown. I'm going to say Darnell Washington. I didn't bet him first touchdown score. I bet him anytime touchdown score plus 2,000 on ESPN Bet. So feeling pretty good about that one. The way that the Steelers have talked about him, Aaron Rodgers has talked about him, I think he's going to get lots of looks down in the red zone. And I expect the Steelers offense to be able to move the ball against the Jets at times. The Jets defense is going to be fine. It's going to be good. It's not going to be great. And I think the Steelers have the weapons to take advantage. Pardon me while I take a drink. My voice is a little bit on the outs tonight, and I apologize for that, but stick with me. Hopefully Corey can hop on here soon, and I can have somebody take a little bit of the talking load off of me a little bit. You know, I'm not a guy who's going to like carry the rock 350 times, right? I need that guy. I need that thunder to my lightning, if you will, or lightning to my thunder, whatever. I don't know which one I am, I guess. But, it'd be nice to have somebody on to help me out. Corey, hop on in, man. Let's do it. Get in here, Corey. Okay. Felicia says, last on my bingo card would be Muth as a first touchdown. Look, if it's open up the seam, I could see Muth being that guy. I could. I know Corey was big on a Muth touchdown this week from the betting side of things, so that can happen. Hey, look at this. I think we're about to get him. I think we're going to do it. He's here, baby. Corey's in. Corey, I need you, man. My voice is about to go. How's it going?
We're doing all right, Jeremy. How's it going, buddy?
It's good. Hey, so this is not Corey's fault, okay? I was driving back from some time with family, and I texted Corey on the road, and I was like, well, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't text Corey on the road. No, I didn't text and drive, Corey. We're not promoting that here. No, I messaged Corey, and I said, hey, can you help me out tonight if something doesn't work out? He said, sure. And I went to message him back, and it didn't send. And so, it's all good. It's all good. He's here now. Corey, thanks for joining, man. We've been talking about Cam Hayward, how we're so glad that that's done and off the table. And now we're talking about who scores the first touchdown this week, and I know you had some thoughts on that. So let me just pass it off to you. We talked about Darnell Washington. We talked about DK Metcalf, Jaylen Warren, and then somebody brought up your guy, Pat Freiermuth, who I think you are betting on this week to get in for an anytime touchdown. So your thoughts on who could score the first touchdown of the season for the season?
I'm hoping it's Pat Freiermuth since I put that money up on him.
Yeah.
But there's a good possibility of what we saw in the preseason with Darnell Washington is hopefully going to be something we see all season.
Yes.
Maybe he can have a huge season as a secret weapon. I mean, they've been stashing him on the roster long enough, so this needs to be his breakout year, and I'm here for it. That's for sure. I know you were pumping it up, and I know. Well, we might as well preview the article that's coming out tomorrow for Between the Lines. I know you have the bet coming out for Darnell Washington. So, and then we got a third guy in here now.
There, Corey made it. I was coming in to help our boy Jeremy because he was struggling with the voice. So I thought I'd try to help him.
You can
out.
feel it.
That's right.
Since I can't record my show anyway until you guys are done. So.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We're gonna go all night on this thing here, Dave. So just for you. Yeah, it is fun. Riverside. We have to dogpile on top of each other here for this. We can't just all do it at once. Sounds like so. But good to have you in, Dave. How's it going, man? How are you
It's
tonight?
going. Hey, I'm so excited about the Steelers playing tomorrow. I'm like, if Jeremy's by himself, I'm going to help the guy out. So I'm going to bail out here soon and let you and Corey do it because a 3-man Q&A gets a little bit tricky. But trying to do it by yourself is also tough. But it's just it's nice to be around Steeler fans on the eve of the big day. I mean, I've been struggling to sleep for like 2 nights already. It's crazy. So,
Right.
But I actually like Jeremy's bet that I heard him say earlier of the Darnell Washington anytime touchdown. That's a pretty good one. So I just thought I'd chime in and get, because we've got Corey's I can't remember the name of the article now that we're all part of.
Between the Lines.
Between the Lines. I knew it was the
Between the
line
lines.
somewhere. So I'm excited about. Jeremy, did you actually place your bet on that? Did you actually put a wager?
I did.
Okay. Yeah.
I sure did. I'm not like
I didn't get
I'm
a
not
chance
like
to
betting
look
the
at it
house
yet.
on it or anything. But you know what I mean.
Hey.
So I'm excited too. You can feel this energy in the chat. I mean, it was like loaded right off the top, and I didn't even tell anybody on social media that I was moving the show to tonight. So everybody's in anyway. And yeah, but when you're talking about the first touchdown scorer or anybody who's going to get in the end zone, making a bet on one of these 3 tight ends feels like a good solid bet for a Steelers team that's going to utilize those guys.
Yeah.
Corey, if you had to pick somebody outside the
Maybe
tight
DK
ends,
Metcalf, but if Sauce Gardner,
sure. Oh,
I
think we're having connection issues there, Corey.
Maybe Gardner. Maybe
Say what now? Okay, I guess we're having some connection issues there with
Sorry.
Corey. I'm going to bring this up while we're waiting on him to get back with us. Brian Brown says, well, I think Jalen Ramsey is scoring the first Steelers touchdown, fam. How about that? Maybe a defensive touchdown to start things off. That would be fun. I think that would get some Steelers fans out of their seats. What say you, Dave?
I don't know if it'll be first, and I don't know for sure that it'll be Ramsey, but I actually, one of my bold predictions for this game is how a nice defensive touchdown would not surprise me
Okay.
one bit. Although I was foolish because on the Steelers preview, I took the under of 1.5 turnovers of Justin Fields. I probably should have taken the over. I should have taken that he's going to have 2 or more, especially when I'm like, oh, I think they could get a pick 6. If they do that, they're probably going to have multiple turnovers. So hopefully Corey is back and good. Sometimes it's rough with 3 people, so I'm going to go ahead and step out with you guys since you've got someone here with you, Jeremy. Steelers
good.
fans, be excited for this. And if you're not in the contest, if you're not in the contest for Steel Curtain
right.
Networks, the Survivor League, you have until 1 p.m. on Sunday. Get in there for that signed Alan Faneca mini helmet.
Get in there. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you, man.
All right, thanks, guys.
And then for that Survivor League, if you are wanting to get in, it's on Yahoo. You can go check that out. And I think Dave has the link posted on the Steelers. The Steel Curtain Network's socials and also on our podcast feed. So check that out to get logged in and join that. Corey, I'm sorry. You were talking about some other touchdown scorers and we could not hear you. Maybe it was just me that couldn't hear. Maybe the listeners could, but you started on something about DK Metcalf and then I lost you. So let's go back there. DK Metcalf, you think could be in the scoring conversation for the Steelers?
Actually, my comment was that I wasn't sure if he was going to be in that conversation because Sauce Gardner's had a couple of games where he has covered DK Metcalf very well. So the Steelers may struggle to throw the ball to DK Metcalf in this game. So I don't see DK Metcalf being that guy.
Okay.
If possibility, you might be able to see the long bomb go to Roman Wilson, Calvin Austin III, if they choose to go play action, especially early in the game. When's the last time we saw a play-action bomb first play of the game? I mean, we used to see that all the time with Ben Roethlisberger under quarterback. We haven't seen that play in forever. Why not start the season off with it? And even if they do intercept it, you're putting the defense on the field, and let's see what we got with the defense.
That's right. So, Brian Brown said Jalen Ramsey with pick 6 to start the year.
I love that.
This is the best one so far, though. Kenneth said, "Oh man, it keeps bumping away from me." Kenneth McNair Jr. says it'll be Killebrew with a punt block. I like that. I think that would be fun.
I like it.
Get Steelers fans started. I wanted to. There was one other guy or item here that I wanted to talk about before we got too far into. Oh, the ultimate vindication for me from this offseason, Corey, would be Steelers on the Jets 30-yard line, and they run this wide zone run to Caleb Johnson, who cuts it back up the middle and breaks it back outside for a long 30-yard touchdown. And I'll sit back and I'll say, you know what? Not Najee Harris. This guy can actually hit the long ball when he gets a crease. And I will come back on the show next week and be absolutely irreverent, absolutely impossible to listen to because I will be so annoying about how good that made me feel. So if you want me to not be annoying next week, you better hope that doesn't happen. No, I think the running game could be a part of this conversation too. The one thing about the running game that, Mike Tomlin said Jaylen Warren's our feature back this year. Feature back. That is going to look different to me than what feature back looked like with Le'Veon Bell and Najee Harris, who were kind of the last 2 workhorses that the Steelers had. Feature back, not saying workhorse back, not saying lead back, something like that. Saying feature back, leaning into Jaylen Warren's strengths, you can feature him in a lot of different ways without him being the number 1 rusher on this team, right? I think, the passing game plays into this for him.
I think the best example of what the Steelers plan to do with this run game can be seen with the way that Penn State handles their 2 running back situation, with Nick Singleton and Katron Allen. They're both extremely good running backs, and you can't keep either one off the field. But both of them have their own distinct running style, and both of them have these intangibles that make both of them good to play at each time. And I think that that's what's going to happen with Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren here. I think Jaylen Warren being more shifty. I think he has more pass catching capabilities. I think he's your home run hitter as compared to Caleb Johnson, who's, you were joking about the Thunder and Lightning earlier. I think that'd be the perfect analogy for these two running backs here.
Yeah. The only thing is, though, that I think Caleb Johnson has some lightning in that Thunder package. I do. I just think that he's going to be able to get into open space sometimes this season and rip a big one. So we'll see what happens. We will.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the last couple of seasons of watching the Steelers. But it's really kind of tempered expectations for what I think I'm expecting to see from players, from what I'm expecting to see from season. I mean, this has to do with Kenny Pickett. Let's not beat around the bush about this. I mean, that perfect preseason he had a couple years ago, like that set so many expectations for what we thought we were going to see, and then it all fell flat. And then now Steelers fans are like, what can we believe? Can we believe our eyes? I mean, we saw this before. It didn't work out. So, like, what can we actually expect? It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell anymore. I mean, it's not the same Steelers team it was, where you could expect certain things to happen, and they just don't anymore, with this team being as different as it is from years past.
Yeah. I wonder when that changed, too. Like, I try to look back on it, and the years all blur together. But, like, I always kind of felt positive about the Steelers starting out strong. Maybe it was that year. Maybe that was it. Because wasn't that the same year that San Francisco walks in and wipes the absolute floor
Just
with us?
trashed the Steelers. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, the Steelers
them.
looked like, the Steelers didn't look like they belonged in any facet on that game. Going back to some of the comments in here about this game coming up, Brian Brown asked, do you think the Steelers will play Fields like they do Lamar? And one of the things that I am waiting to see this year, obviously because the Steelers don't play the Ravens for a few weeks now, but I think they're going to have to change up how they play Lamar, because it used to be that they could just kind of fire off at him off the edges and just like he knew he was going to get hit every play by a Steelers defender because they were coming in fast, screaming in off the edges, and that did not work last year. Just did not work last year. They had to – he was getting outside the pocket. He was making quick throws. The run game was just pounding them, so they had to lay off a little bit. I wonder if they lay off Justin Fields a little bit and kind of let him come to them in the pass rush, because, Corey, he will come to them in the pass rush. They just have to make the play when that happens. So I wonder if things change up a little bit from the Steelers' perspective. I do think they're going to key in on his rushing ability, though, and say, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us through the air.
I mean, I think that they play Justin Fields much the way they do early career Lamar Jackson, in that the key to success to playing a quarterback like that is you crash your ends so that it forces the quarterback up into the pocket, and then you have somebody like Cam Hayward cleaning up the mess. That way you keep a mobile quarterback in the pocket where they do the least amount of damage. And that used to be how they presented Lamar Jackson with their defense every single time. Now, that changed in the last couple of years because Lamar has grown. Lamar has become the quarterback that the Steelers have never wanted to see. When Deshaun Watson went to Cleveland, they were expecting this type of quarterback and play out of him. Never happened. And for the longest time, the Ravens and the Browns and the Bengals could never get it right at the quarterback position. Now Joe Burrow's in Cincinnati, Lamar Jackson, they both can throw the ball really well, so the Steelers can't quite play that contained defense the same way that they did before. They can't just crash, TJ and Highsmith anymore. They just can't do that because they have built the roster in Baltimore to be able to negate all of that pressure. I mean, these two teams build their teams to beat each other, which is crazy because now when these teams are completely built, they're the best in the league. So it's really a case study in roster development and stuff like that. But the the Ravens have done a really good job of developing Lamar. He's finally coming into his own this last year. He's just going to be tough to play.
Yeah, he is. I expect Lamar to me has evolved so much as a passer that it's just impossible to play him the same way. And Justin Fields has not evolved as a passer the
Right.
way you would have wanted him to. So you can kind of tee off on Justin Fields a little bit and say,
Crash the
run the
ends,
ball
make him come
or
up into the
yeah,
pocket because he's not going to throw down the
yeah.
seam.
No,
That,
he's not.
that's
And the Steelers linebackers should be able to mitigate him in zone coverage. I don't think the Steelers are going to play a lot of man coverage this week. Like it'll be mixed coverages, I think, but I don't think they're going to play a lot of just straight up man coverage because you don't want him running for 15-yard first downs on 3rd and 12. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah. So okay, Dave Schofield is throwing a lot of cold water on my fire here for Caleb Johnson. He says I would not be shocked if Johnson only gets 5 carries or less this week. Dave, I'm taking the over quite handily here. And maybe I'm wrong. Dave usually has a pretty good feel on these things. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe it's
I
a
wonder.
slow
I wonder
slow
how
rise
they.
for him.
I wonder how they use Caleb Johnson then if they're only giving him that many carries. Do they use Kenneth Gainwell more in that case? I mean, he is listed as the Johnson is listed as the 3rd running back, so he is behind Gainwell. So I mean, listen. Dave might be right about that. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, it's not far fetched. I could see that happening.
Yeah. um,
He's making a believer out of me just by sitting here thinking about it.
I'm trying. Yeah,
I'm having a hard
I'm
time coming
trying
up with a
to
reason to
counter the argument.
yeah.
Here's my argument for the contrary. I think that you got to put guys in an order on a depth chart. You just have to do it that way. So you're going to do it for seniority here in this case. In my opinion, I think that this is a very role-based backfield. And so when the role for the just turn around and hand it off to the guy running back comes into play, I think Caleb Johnson's going to be on the field for that. And when it's a little bit of either or it's 3rd down, I think it's going to be more along the lines of Jaylen Warren. And when it's clear and obvious passing down situations, I think it's going to be Kenneth Gainwell. So, and Dave follows it up, says, I think they'll use Warren more than expected and ease KJ into it. I think that could be right, but I would still take the over on carries, especially if the Steelers are ahead late in the game. Are they going to go to the fumble-prone Warren to lean on this Jets defense and close out the game, or are they going to go to Caleb Johnson? I think they would probably go to Caleb Johnson, personally.
Fumble prone, man. Fumble prone. I don't know where he got that name. I don't agree with it myself, but
You don't?
I think
You
and I
don't?
really don't. I
Career
don't. Listen,
fumbles for Jaylen
every
Warren.
running back is going to have security issues at one point or another. They're going to fumble the ball. Like not everybody can be Najee Harris. I mean, that dude almost never fumbles. But I think this is the year that everybody is going to get to see Jaylen Warren take a step forward and actually become a lead back. I think we forget that his pass protection is above average, if not elite, in terms of running backs around the league. And
Yep.
if you're going to stay on the field for 3 downs, you got to be able to pass block. So he's already got 3rd down, set for his pass blocking. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell can be decent as a pass catcher, but Jaylen Warren's just as good. And Jaylen Warren's got that burst, and Jaylen Warren always seems to fall forward, and Jaylen Warren is just tough for his size. So I think this is just going to be a year where he breaks out much the same way that Darren Sproles did for the Chargers a couple years ago.
We shall see, because you know who Jaylen Warren reminds me of is more like an Austin Eckler type. And Austin Eckler, pound for pound, was like one of the more physical backs in the league, and Jaylen Warren kind of fits that bill to me too. But I think Jaylen Warren's probably a better pass protector than Austin Eckler. In the end, though, I think it's going to be what do you need from the back, and that's who's going to be in the game. So it might be a little telling as to who's in the game for what when the Steelers run certain plays and things along those lines. But I do think that Caleb Johnson's going to be actively involved. Maybe not so much this week, to Dave's point. Like 5 carries feels a little low to me, but maybe it's 7 to 10, right? Instead of 10 to 14. Or like Najee was getting, 15 to 20 every week? I don't think it's going to be that right away. But
here's what I do know. It's been since Le'Veon Bell, since the Steelers have had a bell cow back who took every single snap. Najee Harris, Jaylen Warren, all of these backs that have come in after him, the Steelers, Mike Tomlin, the offensive coordinator, whoever it is, has not felt comfortable putting the running back in that position to be a bell cow back to consume that many carries, catches, etc. anymore. It's just how they haven't done it. They've split the backfield up, and I don't know if it's because Tomlin ultimately feels that he doesn't have that elite talent at the running back position to be able to do that like he did with Bell, or if he just simply has changed his perspective and scheme and just simply doesn't want to do it anymore. I don't know.
Here's where it happened, Corey. It was post Le'Veon Bell when the Steelers went to James Conner and they tried to let him be the bell cow guy, and he physically couldn't handle it.
Yeah.
He physically couldn't keep up as a 400 carry type guy. And in Arizona, he's never been asked to do that. He's been a 300 carry guy with a complimentary back, and he stayed healthy over there.
He's awesome now. Yeah, he's doing great over there.
Been great. Yep.
Yeah.
Now, Najee Harris had that first season before they had another back, right, where he took, what was it, 400? It was 400 plus carries. It was a ton of work. Zero explosiveness, as we saw throughout his career, but he ground out 1,200 yards at 3.5 yards per carry, and he was the workhorse back. But they didn't have anybody else that season, so they land Warren. I think he changed the ball game and the mindset for Tomlin after that.
Yeah, I definitely agree that kind of changed his perspective on how to give a workload to the running back. Ooh, look at Dave's note there. You seeing that?
Yeah. They've got stats. Week 1, 2024, running back Harris 20, Patterson 4, Warren 2. Yeah, that's not going to happen again. Was Warren hurt to start out last year? Did he get hurt in the middle of the year? I can't remember. I knew he was banged up at some point.
Yeah, I thought he was nursing a soft tissue injury or something like that in the early part of the season.
I think you're right. I think it was early.
What it was, though.
I can't remember. Okay, we haven't taken a break yet. We're 40 minutes into the show. Maybe I'll just throw one in at an earlier time point and just split it up at some spot because it's too late for that. And we don't need to take a break on the live show side anyway. Let's just keep rolling with it, and I'll just do this in the post. That's fine. If you're listening in, final questions about the game, throw those in here because we do have to go here in just a few minutes. But I want to set it up. Corey, what is your big question remaining for the Steelers going into this game that you want answers for in week 1?
For this game or for this season?
It can be like a generic question about the Steelers that you want an answer in some capacity for after this week, or it can be a specific thing for this game as well.
I see the Jets as a similar opponent to who the Steelers are schematically. What I'd really like to see is the ability of the offensive line to really make some holes for the run game. In the preseason, the Steelers, I thought, did a very good job in their pass protection and giving plenty of time to whoever was the quarterback to be able to throw the ball wherever they wanted to. However, the Steelers were still struggling to open holes and really bust some long gains in the run game. That's the one. That's always been the question for the last couple of years, and it still needs to be answered. And this is the pressure's all on Pat Meyer at this point. I mean, he's got all this talent on that line. He's got to make this start working, and it's not the scheme at this point. We've seen Tennessee teams that have been able to consistently churn yards. I mean, there's no excuse for it at this point. That run game has got to get moving.
Yeah, it does. No excuses. I agree. That was going to be one of mine. I think my other big one, because it's been so hyped and because we've said, finally, this is going to be good for the Steelers, I want to see this secondary be shut down. I want to know that is a capability of theirs after this week. And I mean, they've got one guy to worry about in this passing attack. Corey, it's Garrett Wilson. Sorry, his name totally left my brain there for a second. It's Garrett Wilson. Alan Lazard doesn't scare you. The tight end group doesn't scare you.
The Jets have a worse receiver situation than the Steelers do.
Yeah, they absolutely do. There's no Devontae Adams there anymore.
With a quarterback that's arguably worse than Aaron Rodgers. Or at least most Steelers fans will make that argument.
He's definitely worse than Aaron Rodgers when it comes to passing the ball to wide receivers. Don't make me. I've tried as the season has gotten closer to not get too hyped about Aaron Rodgers because honestly, before he became a Steeler, I couldn't stand the guy. I couldn't stand him. He beat us in the Super Bowl. I was not an Aaron Rodgers fan, and from a business side of things, from a team side of things, it made so much sense to bring him in to me. And so now I'm like, oh yeah, Aaron Rodgers, greatest quarterback of all time. Tom Brady's absolutely right. This is the best pure thrower of the football of all time. No, Ben Roethlisberger was better. Ben Roethlisberger was a better quarterback. After this season, if everything goes like I think it will, where it's like, it was okay, and the Steelers were good, and maybe they win a playoff game, I'll be like, thanks, Aaron, but yeah, Ben was better than you.
I mean, I'll say this much. I'm the same way you were. Young Aaron Rodgers, very brash, very diva. But something happened to him this offseason. I don't know if it's just because he got married. I don't know if it's just hitting 42 and, it's the end of his career and he's just like, whatever. But he is a different person.
He got Mike Tomlin, Corey.
Mike Tomlin.
He got Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin keeps the skirt on crazy very well for this team. So let's not forget that too. I mean, we've had Le'Veon Bell, we've had Antonio Brown, we've had Martavis Bryant. I mean, think about all those. He's kept the skirt on crazy very well on this team.
Yep. Big personalities, none bigger than Mike Tomlin though in this room, and I think that's how it keeps working. So, all right, that was our answers that we need to have by the end of this week, or at least some kind of semblance. I'm not seeing much in the way of questions here, so I think we'll kind of wrap this. Corey, any final thoughts about the game this week? We gave our predictions on the Steelers fix. Go ahead and reiterate that here for this group. But I think the Steelers win, right? And my final score has been 20-13. I think it's going to be low scoring. I think the Steelers probably feel like they control this the whole way, but kind of just leave the Jets hanging around because that's what the Steelers do. But in the end, the Steelers, lay a foundation of good things for the future.
So I'll give you a quick hitter for the Between the Lines that's coming out tomorrow. My single bet that I've got is that 38.5 point under.
Yeah.
Because I've got the final score 20-16 Steelers. I don't think they're gonna. What is this? They're given 3, so they're definitely gonna cover. Now the parlay, I got Metcalf with 70 yards, Warren with 4 catches, and in Muth he's gonna score that first touchdown. But
nice.
That gives me plus 3,000. $10 wins 300 if I can hit that.
I like
70
it.
yards for Metcalf, 4 catches for Jaylen Warren, and a Muth anytime touchdown. Boy, I can hit that one.
I hope you do. I really do.
Oh, by the way, sir, I need your contributions for our Between the Lines article tomorrow.
I thought I sent you my single bet. I'm only doing a single bet this week. So
all right.
I'll
make sure.
I'll
make sure I
resend
look
it to
for
you.
it. Right.
Okay. Okay. One thing I've got to say, I am on this Steelers defense. I am so mad at them, at the Steelers defense, because they just absolutely refuse to shut out an opponent. They refuse to do that. They have not shut out an opponent, Corey, since December 24th of 2011. It has been 14 freaking seasons since the Pittsburgh Steelers shut out an opponent. I'm on shutout watch for this team. Get a shutout against this Jets team. Go shut down a team missing its best offensive lineman with a quarterback that the heaviest run team in the league. They've got one outside weapon. Shut them out. Beat them 20-0. Go do it. Give us a shutout, baby. I need one. I need it. I'm on shutout watch this season.
That's not bad. I could see that happening, especially as you described. And I know that the Jets had some injury issues. I didn't realize it was that bad. So yeah, let's see what this defense can do. I mean, this defense is going to be absolutely amazing to watch all season long.
Yep.
If they get off to a hot start, watch out for the record books.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That'd be fun. All right. Thanks, Corey, for hopping in. Sorry for putting you in a bad spot for this week, but I appreciate you filling in, and we'll have you on again soon. And if you want more Corey, go watch us on the Steelers Fix. Check that out wherever you get your podcasts. I think we put some clips up on YouTube of that as well. So stay tuned for more from myself, from Corey, from Andrew Wilbar on that show. And just stay tuned to Steel Curtain Network for all of your Pittsburgh Steelers news and notes as the season gets underway tomorrow. It's going to be fun, Steeler Nation. We appreciate y'all. Have a great night. Wrong music. Sorry. Have a great night.